days. I thought it was almost 6 years. It's kind of sad when they call you the Scoutmaster in your 50s. I don't know. All right. Well, we've got some good stuff going on tonight. One of the things we're going to cover tonight, in fact, this is something we have not done before, but has been done in other places, that is really important. People are always asking me, what is the best way to find property? Is finding property a good thing?
Yeah.
Okay. It's always a good thing. The one thing that I've always said is there's no holy grail. You have to be in a lot of places, a lot of the time, and constantly working at it to find property. That said, I have tried the internet. I have tried mailers. I have tried, you name it, probate, money mailer, lots of internet stuff, trying to do newspapers, real estate books, all that kind of stuff. It all works for a while, it seems like. Has anybody ever tried more than one thing and you noticed it worked really good for a while and then kind of back, kind of went down? Happens, doesn't it, Trevor?
Yeah.
Now, why is that?
I think people just get tired of seeing the same thing again and again. Maybe the time of season?
Could be the time of season. So you got to be a lot of places a lot of the time. There's been one thing that's been consistent throughout. And that is, Snake Borchers here? Snake here tonight? Hasn't come in yet.
Just had a baby. Yeah.
Oh, you just had a baby, okay. The one thing that is consistent is networking. Okay, networking is always good. I took my glasses off because I kind of hurt my eyes, but I think Andy McFarland, he told me he was going to be here tonight. But networking is always a good thing. I just went and looked at property with Andy. I picked up another property this week from another club member. And we have agents that will call in. An agent called me today and said, "You put an offer in on my property 8 months ago. Are you interested in buying it?" And I'm thinking, okay, 8 months ago, I put the offer in, it was probably at a pretty good price. And the market's done what in the last 8 months? Kind of gone up.
Smart.
So I said, absolutely.
For the club.
I'm still ready to buy your property.
It's hard to record
So
with
networking
Jason
is a
standing
good
in
thing.
the way.
Are you recording
And
now?
then it's just
No problem.
principle, learning about people, interacting, reacting, trying to
You're good
work
there.
with people and help people. And so we've got an exercise that's going to be very valuable tonight, and Matt Atkinson is actually going to handle that that portion of our meeting. But it is really important. But before we go any further, one of the things that we like to do is we like to do charitable acts and activities. We like to help people out. A number of you actually joined us and helped us put in a monstrous sandbox at the Christmas Box House, which is a good thing. It's kind of an orphanage here in town. We did that last month, and so thank you for coming. But I have one of my favorite people, Jane Spence, who has something that she would like to pitch to our club to assist a local school. So I told her I'd give her 2 minutes to do that. So Jane, if you want to come up here and give it to us. Big hand for Jane.
Thanks. I'm Jane Spence, and I have an opportunity here. I'm just, again, networking with some folks that are building the new Providence Hall High School. They just have a new elementary school and a new middle school. And these schools are located primo real estate right on the Mountain View Corridor and Mount Ogden Peak Drive in Harriman. So that Mountain View Corridor, thousands of people a day going by. I don't know if you know, and some of you probably know more than I do about what a billboard sign costs, but they cost, I think, at least $2,000 a month for a billboard sign. They are doing a very large sign at the high school. They're doing a little bit smaller sign at the junior high. And I'm pitching the high school sign, although they're doing other things as well, if you want to talk to me about the other things. But tonight I'm just pitching, they are doing a 22-foot sign. It's going to be right out there on the Mountain View Corridor. It's going to be a very large computerized sign. And you can have your business promoted as long as it is school approved, no cigarettes, no bars, but a school approved advertisement for your business, and it'd be $4,000, and that is for 5 years of advertising, which is a steal. Now, part of it is whoever, and we can only take 4 people. I'm going to be passing this around, so if you're interested, go ahead and sign your name. We're going to kind of be doing a group design the sign. They have a bid on the sign already and some things, basic schematics that they have gotten approved by the city. And that is the last page that you can just kind of look at it. Please don't take it. But just look at it. If any of you are sign people or you have sign connections that we can get the price down, then we pay less. But right now it's at $16,000 for all the computerized fun. Does anybody have any quick questions? Is there something I have forgotten? Yes?
How often can you change the advertisements? Or just let them stay?
Okay, they're going to have an advertisement, so there's the big computerized part, and your ad will be going across that part. And I'm assuming you can change that, however, because it's computerized. Then below the big sign part, there's going to be a stationary sign, and you know, they probably don't, I would imagine, I don't know for sure on that one, but that's a stationary sign. If you want to hire people and have it changed, it's probably, you know, your deal, I would think. But on that one, I'm not sure. On the computerized, you could probably change it. But that would be part of the discussion with them, if that's something that you're interested in. Okay? Any other questions? Quick.
Barbara?
Yes? It's a charter school, and charter schools are public schools, for those of you who are not aware. It is a public charter school, and it's been very successful. Any other questions? Okay, I'm just going to start this around right here, and thank you so much.
You're in Utah Valley. Yeah, how is it? It's good.
Thanks. I'm actually going to check that location, because that's pretty good. We used to sublease billboards on I-15, and I think they were $1,500 a month. So if it's got, I don't know what the traffic count is exactly where they're at, but did you say $4,000 for 5 years?
Like you, buddy.
Seems like that might be a good thing.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, great business to be in. Who did their first deal this month? Nobody did a deal this month. All right, our first deal. Who did a deal this month? All right, sounds good. Who made an extra $10,000 this month? Or more? Okay. All right, so that's good. We have 4 or 5 hands coming up. What was your deal?
My deal was a wholesale of a property that my buyer will be flipping over the next couple of months. It was a little house in West Valley City that I put under contract at 105, and then afterwards the seller came back and asked me if I would take a price reduction, and I said thank you. So I got it for 100. We sold that house to the first buyer that I called, but I only called 4, and we marked the price up to $14,000 and closed in 4 days.
So that's pretty good. So wholesaling is basically buying cheap. Actually, you didn't buy anything. You just put a contract together. Did you put any earnest money down on that one?
I did not put earnest money down. We signed it on Thursday. We settled on Wednesday, the 23rd of July, and it funded and recorded the 25th.
So how many days apart was from contract to getting your money?
5.
5 days. So in 5 days you made $14,000.
Yeah, and I paid my bird out there.
With okay, and how much did you pay him?
I paid her. She asked for $500, and I doubled it.
Okay, so you gave her $1,000. Somebody kind of steered you in the way of the deal, and so you made $13,000 in 5 days with no money out of pocket, just by moving some paperwork, right?
Correct.
Matt Atkinson.
What I wholesale the house today. Actually, it's seller financing for a year. Another investor put under
margins based on their connections were a little tight. I just have more contacts. So we put under contract and we wholesaled it. We're closing tomorrow. They made 4, I made 2. Kind of spent 10 hours into it to try to negotiate it down. Basically, we're bringing the house current. It was in a bankruptcy, Chapter 13. After it got out of bankruptcy, we had to get the reinstatement amount to determine how much they had to actually bring current. And once we found that out, it was more than what the client thought. So we told them, hey, we respect your situation. You're going to walk away from it, or you got to work with us a little bit. 5 minutes, they said they'll work with us. Got it down, and we're closing Friday.
Awesome. Very good deal. Did you have any money out on that one?
Just my time, which is worth a lot.
Yeah.
So no financial money.
No, okay, no money there, nobody there, so who knows, when you put nothing in and you get money out, what is the rate of return on that?
Infinite.
That's an infinite rate of return. It sounds pretty good. Do we have any other infinite returns this month? Tell us about your deal.
We got a house in contract, or under contract for seller financing for the full life of the mortgage, which was remaining of 27 years.
Okay.
And we wholesale that contract to another buyer who wanted to keep it as a rental property, so they get cash flow. And in 7 days from when we found the house, we had it sold and bought it $16,771.
And did you put any money down? It's awesome. So it's 16,000,
2 grand.
2,000 here, 13,000 over there. What's your regular job? This, perfect. Matt, Trevor, you work for Matt and you do this part-time?
Yeah, I'm a property manager full-time.
A full-time property manager and part-time real estate investor. So this is something you can do. Did you have?
I do. Last month at this meeting, got a flyer for a property that was being wholesaled, and actually left the meeting early to go look at it, and bought it. He bought it for 93, sold it to me for 105. ARV is about 192. I'm only putting about 22,000 into it, rehab, and I'll do a lease settlement on it.
Nice.
And I'm borrowing all the money from my brother and then paying it back as soon as I do a cash out refinance. So it's none of my money, so that's it.
That's perfect. Yeah, so it's good. It's good money. So that said, we all do different things for different reasons. I really don't care about the money. I do care about my life. And I like to do fun things, and I like to travel. Whatever you do should serve your lifestyle, whatever your dream is. You're here because everybody is here because they're dreaming of something. Where people are still looking out there. There's still people that are saying, okay, there's something we want to achieve, something we want to get, something we want to do with our lives. I find it very sad. I had a family reunion this last week. I'm talking to all my nieces and nephews. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? I'm like up to 21 years old. I don't know. I knew what I wanted to do when I was like 5. Yeah, it was, everybody at least wanted to be a fireman, a police officer, or an army guy. When you're 5, when you're a man, I guess, at my age. But by the time I was 11, I thought, I want to have businesses. I want to own real estate. I want to invest in the stock market. I want to be a millionaire. All those kind of things. And now I've actually done all those things. And I want to buy a castle and see if it'd be the first guy to flip a castle, if I can pull that one off. And, so whatever it is that turns you on, you should always do that. Maybe real estate, might be something else, but we're all here because of real estate. And to make money in real estate, you have to have a seller, you gotta have a buyer, you gotta have something of value. So finding property is key to success in this business. And it allows you to do charitable things, to travel, to take care of your family, to enjoy life. And the only consistent thing that I have ever found in all my years of doing real estate, I've done real estate in a number of states, as well as hundreds of actually over 1,000 transactions in Utah. Actually it's been over 1,000 transactions. And the only thing that I have ever found that is consistent is networking. In fact, I poll all of my agents, when Jane or anybody else closes a deal, we say, how did you find your client? Where did you find your client? Because I like to know these things. Networking. Networking is the one thing that's most consistent, and best things. So to start this off, let's have a huge round of applause for Matt Atkinson, who's going to take us from here.
Hi, this is great. By raise of hands, who's this is the first time they've seen or heard of me before? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shut up, Tim. Cool. My name is Matt Atkinson. I am on the board of SLREIA. I've been on the board for 5 years. I'd count. So what I wanted to share about today is that's bad. Ooh, whoever did that was smooth. All right, put your phone on silent, please. Okay? This is going to be an activity exercise. I'm going to ask the two good-looking guys that work for Blue Mountain to come down here. And then I would say Chuck's a pretty good-looking guy, but I won't pick on him because he called me when I was flying out of town, and I cannot remember our conversation from like 3 weeks ago that I need to talk to him tomorrow. Chang, I'm going to have him come down here because it's totally uncomfortable for him to learn network. Come on, Chang. Chang, yeah, you, Chuck, come on down here. The lady with the pink shirt, I don't know your name. Could you come down here too? Yes, ma'am. The guy with the long ponytail, your wife is a very cute brown-headed girl. Could you come down here too? Yep, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The really well-dressed guy with the glasses that is not Jordan Atkin, I'm not going to ask you to come down here because I don't know you. But I'm going to ask the HVAC plumber to come down here too, right behind Lonnie Larson. Because this is a networking activity. You guys will thank me after, I promise. Dusty Smith, you've got to come down here too. Okay, thank you. Have a seat anywhere you want. You need to sit next to someone you do not know. Okay? So, the reason Matt Sneed and Randall, Matt's the vice president of SLREIA, is one thing God blessed me with for some oddball reason, is to open my mouth. Oh, I am. You guys got your notepads? Who got the text today? You guys get 2 texts? Because I prepared for this one. Okay? You never know any different. Okay, by raise of hands, who is a realtor? Okay, great. Put your hands down, please. By raise of hands, who is a buyer? Everyone raise your hand. Ralph, raise your hand. Okay, good. Now raise your hand. Who's got a deal to sell? A house to sell? Okay, wait. This is really, look, actually Doc Brown is smart. I'm not joking. Raise your hand if you have a house to sell today. Okay, for those of you guys that are sitting in the front row, keep your hands up. Look behind you, who's got houses to sell? Okay, cool. Put your hand down. By raise your hand, who has money to lend? They're willing to lend money. You guys raise your hand. Yeah, who's got money to lend? Okay, put your hand down. By raise your hand, who needs more capital? Anita, raise your hand. Stan Smiley, raise your hand. Okay, so what am I making you guys do? Raising your hand. You're taking action. Here's what happens. Real estate investing is networking. Now, some of you guys might be like, oh, I already know this. You're not up here in front of 70 people, okay? That's funny. For some oddball reason, God blessed me a gift that I can easily talk to people. I can say, hi, I like your jacket, but I like your friend more, okay? Or I can say, hi, you look very intelligent. You do AC/DC controllers? Okay, it's all relative. She's more attractive than you are. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, networking. Here's what happens at the club, okay? And we've kind of noticed people have gotten feedback that like, hey, we want to do a networking on steroids example. So we're going to do a cool exercise. You need to write down right now, because you guys are going to find people here today, 3 things you need to help you progress with investing. So I'm going to give an example. More time. You guys need to write this down. Everyone needs to write down 3. More time. More contractors. More deals. I'm giving you guys examples. What people say they get stuck with. More deals. More education. An assistant. Money. What whatever you guys need. I'm just giving you 3 things that, as I take the time to talk to investors, they're like, what do you need help with? They share that, okay? Raise your hand once you have 3 written down, please. Okay, I'm going to take 30, Bob Poole. Is that your daughter? Must have a beautiful mom. Nothing. That's why I said you have a beautiful mom. Okay. So if you wrote down 3 things, please raise your hand if you wrote 3 things that you need. Okay, here's what I need.
You need a different marker is what you need.
Thank you. I wrote down this. I need an assistant, a personal assistant. Someone that they will do everything I ask them to do. They're very competent, that can take care of stuff that don't earn me money. Okay, I'm delegating. Because we only have so much time in the day. I've got an awesome staff. I have 9 employees. These are W-2 people that I'm responsible for every single day. I'm going to check. But I need an assistant for myself. So I'm sharing an example of something that I've determined I need. I need systems. I am the motivator in my group. If I turn off my brain or my mouth for 90 to 180 days, we'll still earn income, but I'm the one that pushes 9 people. Does that make sense? So I need to learn at 36 years old how to create systems so I can have other people do that for me. I'm happy to do that, but I'm giving you an example of what I'm needing help with. I need higher motivators. For an example, most of my friends, hi Andy McFarland, most of my friends, I earn more than all of them. I need some people that earn more than me so I can learn or have a mentor. Does that make sense? Like, raise your hand if you feel like I'm somewhat of a mentor to you. Thank you, okay? I'm actively looking for someone myself. I've reached out to some professional sports owners based on some friends of mine, some other investors who are 70 years old that have multi-million dollars. The cool thing is with mentoring, here's what I've learned, and the reason why I'm bringing this up for networking, is when you come to SLREIA, I'm on the board of UVREIA also, or UVREIA, this is the opportunity that Randall Wall is going to tell you anything you want to know for about 3 hours once a month. Do you agree with that? You're like, I'm an open book. You want to know how much money I made last month? If I like it, I'll tell you. You want to know about how I should have a prenup of my first marriage? I'll tell you that too. Does that make sense? He'll tell you his open book while he's at the club. Now, to get him on the phone during the middle of the week, if you don't have a deal to him, or it's gone through his staff, or it's a really big challenge that he needs to deal with, he's just got to do a lot of stuff. Does that make sense? Same thing with a couple other people in here. So what I'm having you do, you guys all wrote down 3 things that you need. You guys agree? Well, you guys call to action. You all should write down 3 things now you can provide. Okay? Some of you guys can provide time. Some of you, I have an intern for the summer. This kid will call anyone that I tell him to, which is an awesome skill to learn. Okay? Some people need, or what they can do is time. Some people have money. Some people have skills. Some people have knowledge but don't have the effort. Some people want to do deals, but they're, hey, guy in the white shirt, yeah, come down here. Thanks. Whatever. You need to write down 3 things that you can bring to the table. Yeah, you with the white shirt, come down here. Yeah, I'm your name. Yeah, Dustin, there we go. So you need to write down 3 things. So I'm going to give you an example when I try to approach people, especially when I come to these networking groups. If you guys can instill this habit today, going forward, you will make more money than you do now because you're changing your habits. Does that make sense? You're not going to naturally, Eric Hammond, who's known Eric Hammond for over a year? Is Eric Hammond blown up? Has he done awesome? Yeah, he was like super introvert more than he is now, and he's closing $16,323 deals, whatever. The whole point is he had to get out of his comfort zone. It's networking, okay? So here's the goal. Every time you come to a meeting, You need to meet 10 new people. Everyone write this down. Once you actually do it every time, like Andy McFarland is better at negotiating with sellers than I am. I'm better at systems than he is. But here's what's cool with Andy. He will talk to you, and he'll talk to three people for like 40 minutes. But if Andy can touch 10 people for 3 minutes, he probably can influence more people and then determine when you can meet after. Does that make sense? I'm going to give you an example. Same thing with me, same thing with Randall. What I'm trying to help you guys determine is find people in between. Does that make sense? Like someone who's done 5 deals can remember trying to help the first person with their second deal. Okay? Someone who's done 100 houses is going to be able to help probably someone more who's done 60 houses. Now, can you learn from someone who's done 100? Yeah, absolutely. But things that some of us take for granted, we're like, duh, we already know this. We sometimes forget saying, oh, I forgot that I learned this 7 years ago. Okay? Just kind of set the scene. So here's what we're going to do. Jose, you have a clock? Alciota S. I know his name's not Jose, he's my cousin. He lives in Utah County. He's actually going to be on Telemundo. You're on Telemundo, right?
Yes, sir.
Wait, my novella?
703.
703. Okay, so we're going to take 10 minutes. He's going to wave his hand to me on the second minute, and I'm going to say switch. Your objection for 20 minutes, you guys will thank me, especially Stan smiling because he's so nervous, is you're going to meet someone new that you don't know. Is that fair? The first question you're going to say is, what can I do to help you? So I'm going to role play with Mike Burns. Hi, Mike. My name's Matt Atkinson. Hi, I'm an MFA. What can I do to help you? I can bring you a deal. What type of deal are you looking for? A flip or a buy and hold. Okay, great. Do you happen to have your own cash or someone else's? You have your own cash and someone else's? Okay. What price range are you looking to move forward on? Anything. You can go to $1 million? As long as the numbers are there. Do you have proof of funds? I'm kind of being abrasive because I kind of used to like them. Okay, ooh, I like your haircut. Okay, does this make sense? So if I could bring you a deal up to $1 million, if the numbers make sense, how much spread do you have to make? Depends on the deal. What spread do you want to make?
I want to make
12 to 15% of the sales. ARV means after repair value if you're newer, okay? So if anyone brings you a deal, what is the property worth? It means ARV, after repair value. Someone today, I invited him to the club. I don't even know what he looks like. He asked me for hard money. I said, sure, I'll lend you hard money. What's the ARV? He's like, I don't know. Like, you need to come to this class. It's free. I'm not going to lend hard money if they don't even know what the ARV is. But he just doesn't know. Okay? So, you had a question, sir, and I'll come back to him. What's your minimum that you'd like to, minimum purchase price? What's your minimum purchase price? So, as long as he can make money, he's open. Okay, now, you're going to reciprocate back. I already told you what I need. What kind of systems I'm looking for? Actually, that's a great question. Something I wish I would have done 13 years ago when I was a mortgage broker is had a content management system. Because I've closed over 1,000 mortgages right now and I've pulled credit on at least double, it would be awesome if I could market those individuals, but that's just something our company didn't do. So I'm looking for a content management system that other sales professionals use, and I get mixed emotions or feedback. Do you currently have one that you might suggest?
Yes, I do have a few. I can send you for suggestions.
Okay, which ones are those?
You do mortgages, so I would probably say maybe top producers.
Top producers one? Okay, what's another one that you've heard as a realtor? Contactually? Ooh, that sounds sexy. Contactually, okay, what's another one you might suggest?
Maybe looking in the Salesforce.
Salesforce Net?
Salesforce.com.
Salesforce.com. Okay, cool. By raise of hands, who needs a content management system for their business? Only 2 people? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I'm giving you an example, right? So, you guys get the flow of the exercise? So, what time is it now?
It is 7:07.
7:07. So we're going to go to 7:17. I'm going to go next. You'll discontinue the conversation. make sure you have your business cards, exchange information. If you happen to run out of cards, don't say this, I don't have a card. No, this is what you say. I just ran out of my last cards. Could I get your name, phone number, and email address so I can follow up with you tomorrow? Is that fair? So don't say I don't have cards. Say, I just ran out of my last card. Could I get your name, phone number, and email address so I can follow up with you tomorrow? Which one sounds better? Second one. Okay? So the purpose of this is to network, and then I'm going to give you guys examples of what deals to get together. Go! Someone you do not know. Down. His daughter, right? His daughter? Okay. I'm not saying he's attractive. I'm just not interested in 45-year-old guys with cool accents that serve in the military and used to be pilots. I know, he's cool. I like him. He's going to start working with me. I gave him an example out of me 40 buyers last weekend. Okay, if you like this activity, give a round of applause. I scanned everyone really quickly who did not clap their hands, and you were dead. Good, just joking. Okay. So I want you guys to share openly who got a connection with what they need help with. Okay? What'd you get, Mike? Oh, you guys are both Mikes. Young Mike? Money lender, a little more mature Mike? Wholesaler, keep raising your hands. Caden, what did you need? Hard money lender? Yes? Lender? Wait, what kind of lender? I'm done. Yeah, Jay Francisco. Okay, good. Who else? Who else got a contact they needed? Let's get a shot round. Eric, what do you need? A buyer. Jane, what do you need? Or what do you get?
What I get?
Yep.
I got.
Just one. Wholesaler, good. Okay. Axel Rose, what do you get? Someone that will someone that will let you listen to their phone calls. You can come and listen to my phone calls. Just come after work one day when I'm calling borrowers. Who else got something? Yes. Bird doctor. Yes. Ooh, who's a probate attorney? What's your name, sir?
Jeff Dietrich.
Oh, you were a captain in the military. Am I remembering correctly? You're a partner at Pearson Bartlett. Too many names in Cook. Jeff Dietrich. What's your phone number, Jeff Dietrich? What's your work number? 801
367
361. 801 367 0340. If you do not know what probate is, please raise your hand. Don't be ashamed. I did not know until I went to these real estate clubs. A handful. But raise your hand if you own a home and you hold title in a trust, raise your hand. Awesome. Good for you guys. Okay? If you own a home and you would like to learn how trusts work to hold title, please raise your hand. Good set. I told you I'd sound better. Okay. He's going to share his information in a minute. Jeff Dietrich. Captain, right? Former captain. Very, very respectful. Okay, who else? Now, I need you guys to share for a few minutes. What did you give that someone was looking for something? So you guys all shared what you needed. Now tell me something that you have something to offer. Ben.
I'm proactive when I find good deals.
You're proactive. You're a doer. Okay? He's like a little top, but you just have to put him in the right direction. Okay? Good thing, right? Okay, who else said yes, Jeff?
Good subcontractors.
You need good subcontractors. You found some?
I know a bunch of them.
You know a bunch of them. Okay, good. Raise your hand if you shared something that someone else was looking for that you were a connection for. Anita, what would you do? Is that someone needed that? Awesome. Okay, Axel Rose. Title company, Mike. Did you raise your hand? Okay, you look like Charlie Sheen's older brother. Older brother. Use your services for real estate agent? Andy, what did you share that you can help provide value for other people? Someone asked how to get into wholesaling and give them your number. Okay, So what we're going to do is take a break for a minute in our brains, and you guys are now going to rethink in 1 year, how much farther advanced do you want to be? That sounds really tricky, but when people come to these clubs, I know 5 people in here at least that have been members of the club longer than I have been, and they've done less transactions than I have done. And the reason why I'm giving an example is we both have the same education. We come every single month to the meetings. We originally had Dusty's Awesome Meeting, which is on the 3rd Thursday of the month. I was just seeing if she's listening. It's on the 3rd Friday of the month, which on our website we forgot to do. We had an error because it's updated because we had to do affirmative action on the board. That's why Jason and I are on it. So it's on the 3rd Friday of the month, downtown at Denny's. Yeah, HR. Kick me off. Okay, so here's what's cool with that. When we started, she was the only luncheon. Then we progressed, and you guys, 20 to 40 people, depending on the topic and how good the service is at Denny's. But if I worked downtown, I would literally plan on that lunch every single month because it's a great way to meet 20 to 40 people. Okay? The reason why I'm asking this is the first time I came to the meeting, I remember a gentleman, I'm not going to pick on him, but this gentleman with the nice white shirt and the suspenders. The former president would be Mr. Lackey. He'd come up and, oh, we've got a deal, okay? And kind of obnoxious like me. But what was cool is I was like, wow, this is captivating. I got this other gentleman going up, and Randall would help also, but we would hear the same content, but I would implement what I would learn. Does that make sense? A lot of times we come to the meetings and it's like, oh, it sounds good, but I'm not going to pick up the phone, or I'm not going to call someone, or I gave them my card, I gave them their card, but I'm not going to actually email them. If you take the time to take action, you'll be way farther ahead, because you don't need to know everything. You just have to know people who know everything and just reach out to them. Does that make sense? And I guarantee in this room, if you got stuck, you could probably call 5 people, and those 5 people would know the right answer. And then they would say, you need to consult an attorney or a CPA, but this is what the answer is, and you would be okay. So, with that being said, please write down in 1 year how much farther you want to be being a member of SLREIA. I'm going to give a few examples. This is going to be good to reevaluate in August of 2014. That might be flip your first house, wholesale your first house, get a professional license, get on the board of SLREIA, actually pay the $100 to become a member.
It's 125 now.
Oh, 120, good, we should have raised it up more. Thank you, Roger Jacobson. But you need to take action how you want to involve more with this 2 hours a month meeting. If I was really smart, I would probably consider 3 hours, show up 30 minutes before, be at the meeting, and then probably the best networking is right after the meeting. Here's what's really cool with Dr. Brown before we have Jeff Dietrich to speak. I saw the same wholesale flyer last week. Last month. It was horrible. And the reason why it was horrible, it was just a white piece of paper. If the wholesaler, but it's a good deal, yep. Here's what's cool. I invited that investor to come to the club a year before, and he comes occasionally. He actually told me about the deal a week before. I told him, I'm pretty busy right now. Why don't you go to the club, pay $30 online, I don't know if he did or not, but pay $30 online, drop off a bunch of flyers, and I guarantee if it's a good deal, you'll sell it. Here's what's awesome. Dr. Brown's been investing less than 2 years aggressively. Is that okay? 4? 3. 3 to 4. Have you been really running with it the last 12 to 24 months? Yeah, basically. He's like got his groove on. Here's what's cool. 100 people last month all had the same data. There was 50 white sheets of paper on the table. He saw it, looked at the data, saw the property, bought it. It's going to be an awesome house. Make sense? So if we didn't have these meetings, he wouldn't have sold that property that quick. And the agent investor made more wholesaling it than him listing it. And he still got the money the seller wanted. Does that make sense? Okay, did everyone write down what they want to do in 12 months from right now? Okay, So our additional sponsor is Pearson, Butler, Dietrich, Cook, Carson, Law, Gregerson, the Hispanic guy that left last year, that had a cool accent you didn't talk about. I forgot his name. That's enough. LLC. So, is that a good one? It's in type. So, they're going to talk, they're a sponsor for tonight. Here's what's awesome. They have, I refer business to them. I know that I can call them when I have questions if it's out of the area scope or I want a different opinion. I've contracted with them. And what's awesome is they're investing themselves and wanting to help other members of the community. So let's give it up for Pearson, Butler, and all the other names.
Okay, I'm going to try and do two things at once, and that's talk and push the little clicky button. So, all right, so agenda tonight, this is a presentation that I've given in an hour, I've given it in a couple hours, and I get 5 minutes tonight, so we're going to just kind of go blindingly fast through it. Brief introduction of me, just so you know who I am. I'm not an experienced real estate investor, but I am an experienced attorney. I've been an attorney for about 6 years, graduated out of BYU. In a prior life, I was an infantry officer and spent 2 trips to the Middle East doing fun things and looking for the ocean, but never finding it. So this is my partner, Jeff Butler. He had to leave to go to another presentation. Main things that we want to do is just emphasize the fact that prior proper planning prevents poor performance, and that's performance in your investments, performance in your life, performance in how you want things to go. So primarily this is geared towards you as business owners. A lot of what we talk about and what's talked about at SLREIA is how to do the investing side. This is more geared towards protection, how to take care of yourself and protect your investments. We want to address a few of the pitfalls. So, entities is probably the easiest one to talk about. Just by show of hands, how many of you own property in your own name? Okay, that's scary. All right, so that's called a sole proprietorship. You are getting the official tisk from Matt, and that's bad. That means that if something goes sideways with that property, you're on the hook for it. Your personal assets, your personal home, your personal bank accounts, stuff, all the things that you have worked hard to create for yourself, you put on the line. A single member LLC is another opportunity there. Most people think, oh, if I own my own LLC, I now have asset protection. That's not entirely the case. I don't have time to go through everything on it. I just want to highlight a few of the issues. There's a way you can fix that, and that's by having a business partner and having a multi-member LLC. That's better, but not always best. The best way in an LLC concept to protect yourself is to have what we call split interest LLC. Again, can't really talk too in depth about that in the time that we have. If you want to find me after the meeting, love to talk with you about this more in depth. Basically, a small percentage of your ownership is held by another entity, which may be a children's trust, it may be another LLC, it may be, it depends on how paranoid or how conscious you are about asset protection. Some pitfalls, just some things. You may not have the asset protection you think you have. Another pitfall most people have is they say, you know what, I'll just insure the heck out of myself. I'll have all my properties insured. I'll have insurance. That may not be sufficient for you because I'll tell you, there's law school textbooks about that thick, and I make a living off of all the mistakes that people made on their insurance when, oops, it lapsed on the day that the guy happens to fall and break his neck on your property. So, don't be that guy or gal. Wills and trusts, just want to address this briefly again. If you have property where somebody just has it and they die and it goes through their will, they just have a will, you're now going into probate. We'll address that on the next slide. But a will is basically a letter to the judge. You're just saying, dear Your Honor, please do this with my stuff. And you're hoping that a judge who doesn't know you, doesn't care about you, and just wants to get you off his docket, does what you want him to do. That's not typically going to work very well. Again, law school textbooks this thick with all the times things go sideways. It is a public thing. It's open to creditors. It's a problem because, man, you're just all over you're in the newspaper, you're online, and anybody that thinks they have a claim or can legitimately put forward a claim, they can make a claim against your estate. So, the concern is there going to be a contest?
This example may be a little extreme, and they don't allow guns in court anymore, so you don't have to worry about this specific example. A trust is not a durable power of attorney, and a durable power of attorney is not a trust. A lot of people use that as a poor man's trust. I'm sorry I'm talking so fast, but we've got limited time. Durable power of attorney, that is basically saying, here, if I'm ever incapacitated, you can take care of these things for me. That's great until you pass away, and that goes poof. It turns into a pumpkin, as do all of your assets, and they go through probate. So what is probate? Rather than read the definition, you're all hopefully literate, and you can read it yourself. But it's the process by which your stuff goes through the court system. What goes through the court system? Real property is the biggest culprit. Your rentals, your investment properties, your own personal home. If you own that in your own name, it is going through probate, and that means time is tied up, money is tied up, assets are tied up, and it takes a long time, which may be a couple of months or maybe years, depending on how things go. One of the next biggest pitfalls is your business ownership. Everybody goes, great, well, I've got an LLC. Well, your LLC just goes into probate along with everything else. So you need to have some things set in place so that your business interests transfer to a trust so that you avoid probate. Succession planning, I'm just going to kind of blast through this. If you have partners, you need to figure out how you're going to get out of being partners. While you're happy and things are going well, that's the time to plan on how to do things when they're not going well. The biggest concern, the biggest issue that we see is that two partners, they got together, everything was hunky-dory, we love each other, we're thinking this is great, this is going to go on forever, just like our marriage, and boy, did that last 6 months, and it's just put the documents in place right away so you know how to do it. The four main problems are death, divorce, disability, and drugs. If you're not planning for those and you have business partners in your LLCs or you're owning properties together, it's important to have something in place to... Oh, yeah. Okay. Just in general, documentation is so important. You must put your documents in place to protect yourself. Purchase contracts. Who's ever heard of LegalZoom? Who's ever used LegalZoom? Shame on you, but thank you for being honest. The rest of you are all liars. I know you use LegalZoom, so LegalZoom, it is the document created for the lowest common denominator. If you find a document that was cobbled together online that worked for somebody else in Connecticut, and you go, well, if I change Connecticut to Utah, everything will work just fine. Good luck, and God bless you. At least you're trying. But we're less expensive than you think, and we're much less expensive than the litigation that it will cost you to fix the problem that you didn't address before it was a problem. There's from a business side of things. If you have employees, make sure your tax filings are on time. That's one of the biggest issues we see. How much time do I have tonight?
2 more minutes.
2 more minutes. Sweet, I've been talking fast enough. Okay, so with trust fund taxes, some of you may have employees now, you may have employees in the future. One of the biggest culprits we see in small business failure is when you stop paying what's called your trust fund taxes. When you have employees, you are withholding tax, and you're responsible for paying that to the government. When you pay that to the government, everybody's happy. The employee gets to claim that on their taxes, that they have paid these taxes. You get to claim it as money that you've paid on behalf of your employees, but when you don't, the federal government does not like you. They get very upset and very, very particular about making sure that they get their money. So it's called a trust fund because basically it's going into trust. You're holding that money in trust for your employees and paying it to the government. Most of the small business failures that we see are a result of people not paying their trust fund taxes because they go, you know what, I can squeak by it, I can just not pay this $3,000 here or $3,000 there, or whatever my payroll tax liability is. If I can just hold on to that, I can make it. The federal government will hunt you down and they will eat your lunch. Just don't mess with them. You can't get rid of it, you can't bankrupt out of it, you can't do offers and compromise on it, you can't do any of the tax tricks you hear about on late night TV. None of that will work. You must pay those taxes. So, bottom line, develop relationships. You don't have to like me, you don't have to come to me, but find somebody that you can like and somebody that you can go to and talk to as an attorney. Somebody that understands real estate investing, the idea of ownership in LLCs, how to protect you, how to minimize your losses, minimize your liabilities, and make sure that you develop those relationships and consider getting second opinions. So basically, in conclusion, don't be that guy or gal. Don't be the one. Consult with counsel. Find somebody that you can like and you can trust and you can get along with. We are going to save you money. Yes, we are a short-term expense. Just quick example, had somebody that did not want to spend $500 on an entity formation. About 9 months later, he was about $2,500 into us because he had 3 partners and they decided to kick one guy out and that guy decided he didn't want to be kicked out and so they fought and then $3,000 later we have a nice lawsuit and all kinds of stuff going on. $500, $3,000, $500, $3,000. Think of all the homes you could buy with the extra money you're saving in the litigation long term. Give the first opinion, get a second opinion. If you don't like the first opinion, try a second opinion. If you don't like the second opinion, maybe the first opinion was better. The only thing that you're going to find in life that's a sure thing is that it changes, that everything changes, and that the laws change. Many of you may not be aware that the LLC laws changed, and you will be grandfathered into the new LLC law by July of next year. What does that all mean? Basically, it means that your operating agreement is now the king supreme document. Everything else, you can orally, text message, email, napkin, or back of a receipt make an operating agreement with somebody and give someone ownership interest in your company. That's scary. You need an operating agreement in place to protect you. It's no longer becoming an option. If you form an LLC now, you must have an operating agreement or you will be in liability. So just protect yourselves. Also, proper prior planning prevents angry spouses. That's probably the biggest thing I can leave you with. When your wife is wondering, or your husband's wondering, or your significant other is wondering why we can't go on vacation to Hawaii, and it's because you spent $5,000 fighting your former business partner, well, you should plan ahead. So we can help take care of you. I'm in the Bountiful office most of the time. Our main office is located on Union Avenue in South Jordan. We're just about half a mile behind the LDS Temple there off 106th. Phone number's up there, and appreciate your time tonight. Thank you, and appreciate Matt for giving us the opportunity.
Mike Burns, big keyboard for it. Great. No, you don't move that quick unless you want to spend money. Could you wipe the board for me, please? Use them as Stephen needs one to do. Okay, comment with this. I'd like to kind of share, like with Randall, I got sued 3 times last year. It's awesome. Nothing that we did wrong on purpose. Things happen. The reason why I'm bringing that up is if you hold an income property based on talking to multiple attorneys, we did contract with Pearson, Butler, Dietrich, Pearson, Butler, Dietrich, Carson, Hootenanny. What's the Hispanic guy's name? Yeah, that guy. Okay, so he helped us out. You need to have legal counsel. There's a reason why. We were the 4th owner down on the suit. Does that make sense? So A, B, C, Matt Atkinson, then normal Barbara. We barely settled last week. It's a long time. Yeah, thank you. Okay, we barely settled last week. Nothing that we did wrong. The reason why I'm bringing this up is, let's say I would have held the property in my own personal name, and the the trustee attorney, who are aggressive guys or girls based on what I've been told, they're gonna check, they suck. Someone whisper over here. They will look at everything. They're gonna see that we have assets. They're not gonna settle for a little, they're gonna go for a lot. I talked to another attorney today, completely different topic. They're like, we know how much equity people have based on, we can confirm that easily based on what their debt is. So here's the cool thing, real estate investing is investing. Make sense? It's investing. Take the time to work with competent professionals. This is a rule of thumb that I try to work with. I would have the professionals do what you're doing. They might not be as aggressive, but if an attorney has one rental or has done a flip, they're a little more empathetic to what you're going for. CPA, mortgage lender, real estate agent, home inspector, insurance agent, property manager. I basically told you 6 different keys that if you worked with all of those people on your team and they all are doing investing actively yourself, you're gonna be way farther ahead because of the learning curve. They're just gonna give you advice based on coming across those scenarios. So, well, I had Mike Burns come up. He doesn't know this. Mike Burns, you started investing how long ago?
I started coming probably 2 years ago. I got my first deal January of 2013.
Okay, so you started coming 2 years ago. So I'm trying to give you guys an example 12 months ahead for those of you that are here for the first time. So you came 2 years ago-ish. You did your first deal January 2013.
Yeah.
And you used to sell
Weed.
weed. Sold flowers between different state lines. It's now legal in Colorado and medicinal purposes in California. Okay.
Probably really good, so they don't really think that.
No, it sounds good. This guy sells weed. Okay. So you buy your first house. How much did you buy it for?
I think we bought it for $193.
You always remember the first one.
193.
How did you find it?
Wholesaler.
How much did they make on it?
I think you made $7 or $8 grand.
7 or 8 grand. Good. Did you fix it up?
Yes.
Did you flip it?
Yes.
Did you make money?
Yes.
Did you make more than 5 grand?
Yes.
10 grand?
Yes.
20 grand?
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. I only made $500 on my first one. I'm serious. 25 grand?
Almost.
So, he came for a year. Did you read a book before you came to SLREIA? What? Do you not read? Hooked on phonics. Good. He's a realtor too. He'll read all your contracts. Okay, so you did your first deal in January of last year.
Yes.
How many deals have you done since then, flips?
Right now I'm on my 12th flip.
Awesome. How many houses have you wholesaled since you started?
Right around 10.
Okay, let's give a round of applause for Mike Burns. The reason why I'm bringing him up is last year when his eyes were all glossy from hay fever, okay, coming from back west, he is like a lot of you guys or girls who I don't know who you are. You'll come up and I'll meet you and I'll meet you 3 or 4 times. I'm like, hi, it's nice to meet you. Unless I do a mortgage for you, I apologize, I don't remember everyone. But here's what's cool. He came, he went to a workshop, came again, he actually bought a house. I'm like, whoa, good for you. You're actually doing a deal. Bought another one, bought another one, bought another one. He learned from some things he could have done different, right? Well, what's one thing you would have done different?
Reduce prices earlier.
Reduce prices earlier. What's another thing?
Don't make a deal work because you want a deal.
Don't make a deal work that you want to make. Dude, this is like thousands. How much is this? How many thousands of dollars?
It's extremely valuable.
Extremely valuable, priceless. What's the third thing you said you should have done different?
Pay a little more attention. Listen to that.
Listen to Matt Atkinson. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so the reason why I want to self-promote myself is for SLREIA. A year in January of 2013, he did his first deal, and based on coming to meetings and networking and hustling, he's done a lot, right? 12 flips and 10 wholesales is awesome. Really, really awesome. And he's not that smart like me. He just works with smarter people than him. Is that fair? I listen to smarter people than me. So, quit talking about Matt Atkinson some more, but I wanted to share an example of less than 24 months. That's really, really impressive, okay? So, we're going to go over deals right now. Anyone's going to tell us what deal they've got, and our objective the rest of the night is to wholesale it to someone in the audience. You like that idea? Yeah? Okay, who's got a deal right now under contract? Okay, for those of you guys that are new, I'm gonna be more abrasive with the people that I know. You ready?
I'm ready. I don't know that this is quite a deal. I want
Is it a deal?
It's not a great deal, but I want to see if it can be made into a deal.
Fair, I'm good with that. Okay, what is the purchase price?
The purchase price, well, it's currently up for sale for $149. That is what.
Okay, 149 is the list price, okay?
They will be workable with that a little bit. They're gonna lose money on the deal.
Okay, so 149 is the purchase price. So how are we trying to make this work?
I'm thinking they're ready to do a seller finance.
Seller financing, awesome, okay? So a house, they're gonna lose money, so what's an alternative? Let's not help them lose money, let's consider seller financing, okay?
The mortgage payment is $1,025.
The mortgage payment is $1,025. PITI. What area is it in?
It's Daybreak.
Daybreak, is it a condo?
It's a condo.
How much is the HOA fee?
This is the killer's $280.
Now, let's just talk about lots of different reasons. So HOA is $280. Don't be negative with why it makes sense. I'm not saying she's being negative. Let's just state the facts and let's analyze it. So HOA is $280. Is it a condo or a townhome?
It's considered a condo, but it's a townhouse configuration.
What is the zoning? I'm teaching you guys stuff that you don't know if you're a lender, except for Jay Garcia. What's the zoning? This is important. The difference of a condo versus a PUD affects the financeability in the future. A PUD, great question. A PUD is a planned unit development. Does everyone know what Daybreak is? PUD. But Daybreak, overall master plan is a PUD, but within it, they have condominiums.
And it cannot go FHA currently.
Can't go FHA.
Daybreak has lost their certification. I don't know if they've lost overall, but they've lost it.
So it's a condo. It's a condo. So the condo is not FHA approved. Okay, cool. This is important for the end buyer. But as of right now, it's not.
Right.
Okay.
Right now, they're working on it.
Cool. So I'm going to try to go quick so people can see. So here we go. We have a property for $149. The PITI, including everything, we'll call this $1,300. Okay?
What will rent for?
What will it rent for? How many bedrooms is it?
It is one bedroom and a little loft area.
So 2 bedrooms?
No, it's not technically.
It's 1 bedroom.
2 bedroom. It's a 1,115.
Lonnie Larson, you own a property management company. What could you rent a 1-bedroom property in Daybreak for that's really nice?
900.
900. Awesome. Let's write down 900 in rent. Okay? Are they willing to buy the property with no money without just walking away?
They're willing to walk away.
They're willing to walk away. How much do you want for your time to put this deal together?
I'd take $3,000.
$3,000. Okay, so the out-of-pocket investment is how much? $3,000. Make sense? So, here's one way I would...
Why would you want any bigger cash flow $400 a month?
Because you do not know what I know, Dr. Brown. Ready? I'm about to tell you. I learned this at a Jimmy Napier seminar. Has anyone been at Jimmy Napier? Tim Fenton. He's a smart guy. He always tags along for some oddball reason. Right, Yoshi?
Right.
Okay, so let's say I buy this property in for $3,000. And I have a property management company like Lonnie Larson. I know a lot of people who want to buy properties. They just can't qualify. Is the property worth $150?
It is.
It's retail.
It's really nice.
Okay, but it's worth $150. Let's say I say no bank.
That's the low end. That's the low end.
We'll just call it $150. Hi, Josh Christensen. So here's how this house makes sense. No bank qualifying, own a property for only $10,000. Is that good? So, want to write that down, please? No bank qualifying, owner-occupied property for only $10,000 down. Now, raise your hand if you know someone who's got $10,000 who wants to own a home but cannot qualify for a loan. Okay, hold on. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that good? So, who would be interested in this property? Lots of people who are relocating from out of state. They don't know where they want to plant their roots yet. They're a professional. Does that make sense? They might want to put $10,000 down. What if they say $10,000 is kind of steep? Okay, let's tweak it. No bank qualifying, lease option, $5,000 down. What's the difference? Are you changing ownership? Do you get $5,000 up front? Yep. Who's responsible for the payment? Make them. Does that make sense? So, could this be a potential deal? Sure.
Too big of a spread for the difference between what they can do on the market and what they can do for lease and own. That's $400 spread, that's not more.
Depends on who the buyer is. You might have different buyers than we do. Go ahead.
Was there any? No. I've done a ton of these. I had, one of my agents worked with the Hispanic market, and financing was easy, and then that dried up. And so I said, all right, we're gonna run ads out there for who has $10,000 or a steady income. And her business went from nothing to like $5 a month. Most of the guys had like $20,000 or $30,000 down. If you're looking at buying a property, you can cash flow this. You can cash flow that property.
You could cash flow that property to the seller, because the interest rate's probably at what, 4%?
Yeah.
4.25. If you bumped it up 0.5%, it's like, you could get $50 for the seller. I mean, the seller could, right now they're looking at it going, oh geez, we're walking away with nothing. But if I was Jane, I'd be saying, okay, I want, full commission on this deal. We're gonna make $7,500, right? I mean, 3%, you have 3%. $7,500 on there. The other $2,500 is gonna cover any closing costs that are there for the seller. And then you can bump the interest rate by 0.5% to 1%. Actually, most of the seller financing is around 7 to 8% that I've seen. But it doesn't matter. If you want a house, you've got income, you'll buy a house. And it doesn't matter that you can rent cheaper. I've got a house in Logan Properties I took over because somebody bought it and there was too much hassle for them to rent. So I bought it, put a property manager on it. I'm making $225 a month in late fee every month, and I've been doing it for the last 18 months for these people. I mean, it's not logical, but there's a million people out there, and all you need is how many for that property?
One.
Just one. There are a ton of people, and that's absolutely right. There's a lot of people, 10 grand get into a house, and that's the home ownership. And then, let's take that a little bit further. What is the tax benefits on that? You could probably do, how old is this house? Yeah, so it's new, so you've got $150,000 here. You're probably talking about, they break them to say $30,000. And this is why it makes sense to an investor. There's probably at least $30,000 in chattel in that property. So you could depreciate that chattel. You can take,
What's chattel?
Oh, chattel. Chattel is personal property. That's floor coverings, lights, can be the furnace, the AC, the water heater, the roof on a regular house, the kitchen cabinets, railings. I mean, there's a whole long list of things that it is. Lisa actually is pretty up on it out there. She can do a chattel appraisal, which costs about $500. But she can do a 40% write-off. So what's 40% of $30,000?
12,000.
Okay, so you're going to take $12,000 this year, and you're going to take the other $18,000 over the next 5 years. That's where most of it's going to fall on at. So all of a sudden, what's $12,000 divided by 12 is $1,000. So if I held this thing for a month, I rented it out, I'm over here at, what'd you say, doctor, was negative
Negative 400.
negative 400 a month. All of a sudden, this is positive 600 a month. And I can turn around and sell it at the end of the year after I'm taking this $12,000 first off, because there's no recapture tax on chattel, or chattel depreciation like there is on straight line depreciation. So it's, the biggest thing Matt's showing here is the more you know, the more arrows there are in your quiver, the more things that you can do. So I've had guys that have done this that are, professional athletes that say, hey, I need a write-off, I don't want to pay any taxes. Instead of doing the little 150 ones, they're doing the $500,000 ones with $100,000 in chattel. 7%, which is not impossible, actually. Who knows what it went up last year?
12?
20, went up 25% last year?
25, 2013.
Yeah, 20,
Didn't have enough
25.
area.
I think 12 overall. That's pretty good. There's everything both right. You know, it's right everywhere. So if that went up 12%, let's so what's 12? What would we be at?
$18,000.
$18,000 would put us at 168, 67. So 167. So all of a sudden, is that looking a little bit better? We've cash flowed in year one. Next year it's worth 167. They owe, how much was it they owed again?
Late November,
145. So I mean, you're starting to offset that $400 that you're talking about for negative cash flow starting to offset. Now anything could happen, it could go down, but it's just next year. But if it was 12%, it was 20%. Yeah, turn around and sell it, cash flow it this year and we make money on it next year. So there's somebody out there. Now, would I buy that one? Probably not, just because I don't need to. I can find somebody that's going to sell or finance me something. We bought one. Josh, how much are the payments on that 5420?
Thought it was 1,050. You'll find out about that on the bus tour.
Yeah, go on the bus tour.
Sounds like that
We'll show you. And if you haven't paid the bus tour, pay tonight because we are at full capacity plus one, but I think there's 3 invoices, maybe 4 that are outstanding out there. So if they haven't paid, then you can get in.
Sell it 5 over, that's what we did.
Okay. Sell it 5 over. Yeah. Actually, last time I sold it right at, and I was like, I had every single person show up. I thought about selling it over, so I guess we're going to lay in the aisle. But there's a lot of things that you can do out there. So we took this property over, and I bought it for the payment. I said, I'll make the payment, I'm going to give you $500 for your appliances. It's a nice house, stucco house. It's going to rent for $1,500, $1,550 a month. A 6-bedroom house, really nice, stucco house. And I just picked it up for the payment. So basically $1,050 plus closing costs. But there's a lot of ways to do that. So when Jane asked somebody, she asked Matt, he's showing you all the different things that you can do. Absolutely, there's somebody that's going to buy it. They're not going to care because that might be $300 or $400 negative, but they own a house, and that value is going to go up. And other guys might say, okay, I need to do something. I can get into a property and I'll rent it out. I'll make it cash flow for me. And who knows? Every now and then somebody surprises me and rents their property for something ridiculous. I mean, it's Pete McCoy had a house that I think it's a bi-level split. I think he put it into 3 different units, and it was out in West Valley. It was probably worth $160,000. I think it was rented for $3,000 or something. I mean, it's unreal. So you do just about anything, but put more people in the boat.
Okay, is that a good example? Let's give a round of applause for Randall. Okay, so action item from this example. Number 1, write down chattel appraisal or cost segregation. So I need you guys to call your accountant or CPA, and if they do not know what that means, it means you need to find a new one. I'm dead serious. Because I learned about chattel appraisals or cost segregation like 5 years ago, and we hear it once a year. We hear these little things, and then we're finally like, oh, that makes sense. Yes, Mr. McFarland. I'm in the process of doing one right now, and I'm bidding it out. Because I bought a house that Mr. Weed over here's brother sold to me, and it's an awesome, nice house, like the nicest rental that I've ever bought. So I'm like, oh, this makes sense, and I knew about cost segregation or chattel depreciation, and I'm in the process of doing that.
Can you use excess depreciation to offset active income?
That'd be can you use excess depreciation to offset active income?
You flip properties, make $300,000 flip the property, so you get a bunch of those chattel depreciation.
That would be a great question. Everyone's tax situation is different, so I'd consult your CPA. $500 is the cost for going for a chattel appraisal.
Never know, by the way, on that last question.
That's okay. I'm not a CPA.
Do your research.
Do your own research. Good. Okay, any other questions with this scenario? If you learned one thing based on this scenario, raise your hand. 2 things on this scenario, raise your hand. 3 things on this scenario, raise your hand. Axel Rose, raise your hand. Okay, we're done with this one. Okay, who's got another house? So this gives an example for Jane on a house you could wholesale. Fair? So this is what I would do if I was Jane, because she likes to have a lot of things going on. I'd put the house under contract, and I'd call 10 investors who have deep contacts. And I would say, I have this house under contract for this price. This is how this deal or opportunity makes sense. So you need to tell the story, and then ask them if they're interested. Is that a good example? So selling deals or real estate is basically telling the story how it benefits the borrower. We're all in different areas of financial situations, and we all have different needs. So I actually brought up, when you brought up cost segregation or chattel, it made me think of it because for $5,000 I would be interested in that because my taxes would be lowered. Okay, who else has a deal or a house that they have under contract right now they want to go over? Now, one other person has a house under contract? Go Destin. Okay, I'm going to ask the questions. What's the purchase price?
Purchase price is $125,000.
$125,000, okay. What? In Clinton? Is that in Utah? Clinton, Utah? Is that Davis County? Okay, who's interested in buying in Davis County? Awesome, raise your hands so people can actually show. Awesome, Chuck Sloan, good. Okay, Clinton, Davis County, 127. What else? 125 for me, 127. I'll bump it up. Okay, what else? Is it a flip or a buy and hold?
It's a flip, or not, it's a flip, so I'm looking for a wholesale buyer.
Okay, wholesale buyer, what's the ARV?
ARV is low end 175 to 185.
Cool, so 175 to 185. How much do you think it needs in repairs?
Low end 15, high end 25.
Okay, so 15 to 25,000. So I'm going to go back. You guys should write these notes down if you're not done a deal this year. Curb paying your deal doesn't count yet because you got a super cut haircut. So ARV is 175 to 185. The repairs are 15 to 25,000. The purchase price is 127 because you got to add 2 in for me. Okay, keep going. When do we need to close?
The next 3 weeks.
In the next 3 weeks. Cool. So it gives, is it occupied or vacant? Okay, it's vacant. Awesome. Do you have photos that you can send to people already to save yourself time?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you have a video of the property? You could get one though, right? Who lives in Davis County that would be happy to video a property to learn about investing? Now, one person that lives in Davis County that wants to learn about investing? Chuck Sloan. Good. Can you give Chuck the first right of refusal?
Sure.
Is that good? I got you in, right? Is that good? A lot of times, whoever calls first gets the deal. I missed out on Andy McFarland's deal because I was like 2 minutes past the text message. Holy cow. I swear he's like, oh, I just want to see if Matt will call me. Okay, so. It just reflects yourself. That's why I like you. So, here's how this deal makes sense. Ready? I'm going to call it 180 ARV for simple math because I'm a simple guy. 180 ARV. I like to take 10% off the top for real estate commissions, for buyers, sellers, closing costs, buyers, closing costs, 1% for sellers, closing costs. So 180 minus 10% is 18,000 is 162. Let's assume that, by raise of hands, who's a contractor? Only one contractor? Wow. Roger Jacobson, are you looking for investor work, or you like doing investors' homes and their own nicer stuff?
I take both.
Both? Cool. What's your phone number?
801.
801.
694.
694.
0564.
694 what?
0564.
0564. He's the only contractor here. He raised his hand and was proud, so I might as well give the publicity he deserves. Roger Jacobson. It's something M staircase. He lives in, I know where he lives. Actually, I know everything about this guy. Thank you. Okay, I'm done. So 180 minus 10 is 162. Did you write down 162? So let's say you are like, hey, I've got money, but I do not have construction experience. By raise of hand, who has money, but there's a little lacking construction experience? I've never done that work before. I respect it, don't know how to do it. So here's a cool example. You get a hard money loan for the full purchase price of $125. By raise of hands, who's a hard money lender? One person? Holy cow. Here's my, Josh, what's your phone number if you want to lend money? 801 856 1510. 801 856 1510. If you want to borrow money, here's my phone number on my cell. 801 671 9367. 801 671 9367. If you say I need to borrow money and I ask you what the ARV is, at least you know what the answer is, right? Okay. He actually emailed me again. He's like, I don't know what ARV is again while we're here at the meeting. Okay. So, let's say we borrow the full purchase price of $125,000, because I'm very confident in the value. And let's say you pay 4% interest and 12%, just for the sake of math, and you keep it for 90 days. Basically, 12% a month is 1 point. Does that make sense? 12 divided by 12 is 1, so you're really paying 7 points for 90 days. Does that make sense? 7% of 125,000 is $8,750. So let's just add $9,000 on top of this. Plus 9 for hard money. So what's the total price? 125 plus 9 is 134. Good? Awesome. Now, let's say your rehab, because you're going to do the work yourself, you can do it for 15. Is that fair? I know a lot of contractors, if they had 10 grand to pay for the materials, they would rather do this than driving around all the valley. So, the rehab is 15. So, 134 plus 15 is how much? 149. 149. 149 minus 162 is how much?
13.
13K. Cool, good. Okay, now that's if you sell it on the MLS and on the deal. Now here's how it makes it better. If you borrow the money from someone else that has the capital, that they've got the 20K, and you're out of pocket, and they're like, I'm happy to make 20% on my money for the next 3 months. I'm going to kind of go a little higher level, okay? So 20% on their money for the next 3 months for $20,000 is only $600. Got it? No? All right? It's actually $1,200. I see if you guys are paying attention. Okay? Think about that. How many of you guys would borrow, who would lend money at 20% for 3 months? I would. A lot. Okay? If you borrow the money from the other individual, do you want to put that in? So 20K for the repair costs. Make sense? Put 20K over here. Thanks. 20K, you pay how much? $1,200. So what's your profit now? 11.8. Who would do this deal for 11.8? Why? Why guy from back east that I can't remember because he didn't call me for a mortgage?
Infinite return. The numbers make sense.
How do the numbers make sense?
Well, you have an infinite return, this is none of the money out of pocket.
Did you guys hear that? An infinite return because there's no money out of your pocket.
What about time? Time is money.
Doc, you're self-employed, you got a lot of time. Okay? Does this make sense? Now, I'm not saying go tomorrow and go buy a house with no money out of your pocket, but go tomorrow, go buy a house with no money out of your pocket, because that's what Mike Burns is doing. Correct, Mike Burns?
Yeah.
Randall Wall, you bring money to the table? No? Not usually. Andy McFarland, are you funding it out of your pocket at all?
Yes.
A lot of the times?
Not money.
But you're loaning out money too, so he's moving money. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, let me show you how to make it better. Who's a realtor who has sold a rental property to a regular person in the last 12 months? Like, they don't go to the REIA clubs. Cool. Do they just want to put 20% down, a good solid rental, they don't want to fix it up and rent it out? Do you guys agree? Okay. Let's erase this. I've done this once a month for the last 7 months. It's awesome. So if I sold this property to an investor, a regular person, I actually had a client from Germany. I went to the restaurant with them last night. They bought a duplex owner-occupied, paid top dollar. Like, we didn't think it would appraise, and it appraised 30 grand more, and I'm not making this up. I was like, holy cow, it's an awesome cash flow property. There's a lot of people who want to buy properties here who just want to put 20% down for clean, no maintenance houses. Make sense? So if you sold this property for 180 and you put 20% down on a regular loan, 180 minus 36 is 144. Your payment approximately would be $850 a month, give or take what your interest rate is. $850. Chuck's loan, you guys manage properties in Davis County? How much could a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house cash flow for? Or how much does rent? Yep.
I'm gonna say, how many square foot? That's gonna help me as well.
It's 1,800 square feet.
Probably 1,100.
1,100. Okay, so 1,100. You write this down? So let's do this again. 180. So you sell for 180. They finance 144 at 5% interest rate on a 30-year fix. We're not chained. We're not doing 15-year loans. Make it fun, chain a little bit. Want to spread it out to capture more capital. Your payment's $850. Your rent's $1,100. Cash flow $350 a month. And that doesn't include a property manager. If you do property manager, you take that out also. But here's what's really cool. $250. Sorry. If you sold this to a retail investor and you didn't pay commissions, how much more money did you make on the flip? 6%. 6% of 180 is how much? 10.8. Can we call it 11? 11 plus 13 is how much? 24. How much money did you come out of pocket? Is that pretty good? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Better than last.
Better than the last deal? I'm showing you different deals. Who has questions on this scenario? Am I losing everyone? Wes is like, come on, boy. Okay. If you learned one way to sell this house, raise your hand. If you learned 2 ways to sell this house, raise your hand. 3 ways to sell this house. Okay, I'm going to take it a step further. Let's say Dr. Brown has got all these little Strongbrook-ites in his pipeline. And they all love lease options, right? They love lease options. Awesome strategy. We should talk about it more. He could sell this house for 180. He could get the mortgage. He could buy it with hard money for 125, be out of pocket zero, have the repair money, 10 to 15 grand out of his pocket, refinance it, cash flow more because his balance is less, keep it as a rental, lease option for someone else. What's the minimum lease option fee you guys are collecting?
Oh, it's 3 to 10, 3 to 7.
$3,000 to $7,000. Is the lease option money refundable?
No.
Non-refundable. If they don't exercise their lease option, you keep the money. Is there anything wrong with that? Just like leasing a car. Anyone leased a car before? 1 person, 2 people. Yeah, Ben Montori, those nice stuff. Leasing a car, you have to put a certain amount of money down, and then they say you have to stay within this mileage, your car has to be in good condition, you got to pay it back within this amount of time. You drive the car for 2 to 5 years after the lease, you have the option to buy it, correct? Does the car dealer depreciate the heck out of the car? Yeah, absolutely, based on what you've driven. But you can then decide, do I want to finance it or do I want to get a new car? What's cool with lease options is a different strategy, is this gives you the way to sell it or buy it with a hard money loan, fix it up, $10,000, I bet you do a decent rental remodel for 10 grand, and then cash flow really well. Okay, different example. So we have a flip example on the MLS, a little tight. We have a flip example to a retail investor, really good, 26. And then you can pull this down as a rental, refinance it, and cash flow really nicely. Kind of feel like I'm serving filet mignon at Fleming's. It's really nice. This is a great wine. Just kidding. Okay. Good? We'll do one more scenario on how to do deals. Yes, sir.
I have an address.
Oh, you have it under contract?
Yes.
Okay, will you erase this, please? How about before you have an address? What's the price?
95.
Is it in Salt Lake County?
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, the price is 97. The address is 950 West California Avenue. That's in Glendale, which is Salt Lake City. What's the ARV?
I'm sorry?
ARV, after repair value?
150 conservatively.
150 conservatively. How big is the house?
It's about 1,100 square feet.
11, is it a 3 or 2 bedroom? Can you convert it to a 3?
Possibly.
What do you think?
I'd probably keep it too.
I'd keep it as a 2, so probably not. Okay? So 2 bedroom, 2 or 1 bath.
One.
Is that a garage?
I
Don't remember. Fair enough. Okay. Very easy. So 950 West California Avenue, the purchase price is 95. The ARV is 150, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. In your opinion, how much do you think it needs to get fixed up?
15 to 20.
Call it 20. Okay? So if you guys remember the math, work backwards. Actually, if you want to buy Dustin's house, what's your phone number, Dustin?
801-864.
801-864. 9959. 801-864-9959. Jane, her house, or her phone number is 801-556-2014. If you want to buy that house, Jane, you owe me dinner. 801-556-2014. I haven't called you for a while. Okay, so 150 ARV, take 10% off the top is how much? 15, so it's 135. Let's call it the repairs are 20, so 135 minus 20 is 115. Jason, come on, you get a marketing degree. I know, we get to make fun of each other. Okay, 135, 115, each 20. Let's say you have your own cash. Let's say you have a partner who just wants to do a deal and split the profit, okay? So this partner brings in the $95K plus the repair money. How much are you out of pocket? 0. Make sense? This happens a lot. I know 3 people in here that have done this in the last 2 months. Okay, so the hard money, or the cash partner brings in repair money and the fix-ups, but they don't want to do anything else. They don't want to coordinate contractors, they don't want to remodel, they don't want to do lots of different stuff. This is why you have a good operating agreement before you start a partnership, okay? So they don't commingle funds or embezzle. So if you sell for, if you bought it for 95, 115 minus 135 is what's your profit? 20, you split it with your partner. So Doc Brown, who's super busy being a BYU professor, doesn't have the time to coordinate this because he listed his house too much. But doesn't want to take 10K, but this is a good example of how other people can. Does that make sense? Any questions on this one? Is this open for seller financing? No. Yes, Ben Montour.
I have time to coordinate.
You've got time to coordinate? Great.
Get Cheney's number out.
Ben's number?
No.
Yes, Blue Mountain guy. Sorry, his fitness model with your little sidekick. 801
597
597
5055.
5059. 801 590 5055. 597 5555. Okay, we'll do one.
5055.
I'm saying it on purpose just so he gets more attention. 5055. Okay, last deal. Ready? Okay, is this the duplex? No. Okay. Randall, do you have one? Yep, absolutely. Ooh, we're at the end. Because it's very important for us to stay on time, I'm going to turn it over to Randall because we like to end so you guys can network. One last comment Did you guys like the flow of the meeting today?
Yeah.
It's good? Okay. So as I share for 1 minute, thank you very much, Jason. Let's give a round of applause for Jason. I was going to call him Vanna White, but that didn't work out. Okay, so investing. Investing is work. This is a dumb comment, but interesting. Tip: call every "We Buy Houses" sign. Write that down. You need to call every "We Buy Houses" sign. People that advertise that "We Buy Houses" are either investors who are buying a lot of deals, or newer investors who are trying to find deals. You never know when you get on the phone with them on a Saturday night at 6:30, like I did with Luke Watkins a year ago, and buy a house from one of his friends, that all he did is make $500 just by telling me the name of the number is the fastest $500 he's ever made, and that realtor has brought me another deal, 3 since then. They haven't worked out, but he's brought me another one that I'm going to buy now. Does that make sense? Is that an easy tip? Here's what you do. Hi, I'm calling about your house. I saw you advertise for We Buy Houses. Yeah, do you have a house for sale? I have a lot of houses for sale, but I'm actually looking to buy. What's your name? Oh, my name is Luke Watkins. Hey Luke, it's Matt. Matt, what's up? Why are you calling me? Well, I'm trying to market. Build my buyer's list. Do you have any houses that you're looking for right now to buy? I actually have one. His name is John Smith. He told me about it. It's on 5889 South Salem Avenue. It's a little tight for us, but it might be up your alley. It's one of these current specials. Great. Could I contact John Smith? Yeah. Is it cool if he just paid me $500 if you buy it from him? Absolutely. I bought the house. Did I pay him $500? Absolutely. Is that an easy one? I'm going to flip-flop it. You guys seen the signs that say real estate investor seeks apprentice? Call them. Here's why. A lot of the times they're newer, different strategy, but they will make phone calls. If they make phone calls for you, who's to say that they won't find you deals? That make sense? I'm happy to work with people who are willing to make calls. You can always find more deals. So is that 2 tips? Last tip. Tip number 3. When you get the 10 people's contacts from SLREIA or any other networking event, this is what you put. Axel Rose, it was nice to meet you at SLREIA last night. Here are the 3 things that we discussed. 1, 2, 3. Literally, list it. 1, 2, 3. It shows that you pay attention if you give them action items. 1, 2, 3. Let me know when we can connect next week to discuss how to help you accomplish these goals. Do you think that I'm going to respond way quicker to that? Versus, hey Matt, it was nice to meet you. Can I take you to lunch? I don't eat lunch. I eat like protein bars now. It sucks. Okay, so we look forward to having you guys come with the bus tour. We encourage you guys to become members of the club for it's only $125. Is that correct now, Lisa?
If you want to sign up just for 1 year, it's $125. If you want to be on automatic renewal, so that it just renews without you thinking about it, it's $99.
Cool. So modest investment to get more deals. It's a great opportunity. Let's give it back to Randall. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.
One of the best things about this club is actually people here doing things. I have bought property from some of the guys, Robert Allen's guys, some of the other big names in real estate. And a lot of those guys aren't doing deals and haven't done them in 10 years. And so it's nice. We've got Matt, we've got Andy McFarland, Josh Christensen, Dustin Christensen. They're our cousins, by the way. Josh's brother did marry my sister, so I guess we're all kind of related. But they're actually people that are doing deals. So before we go this week, I want to, Lisa's here. See Lisa if you want to go on the bus trip. If you have not paid, pay. I think we've got like 3 people that haven't paid or something like that. So if you're not paid, we're full, right? We're overbooked. So
I have a couple people on the waiting list, and if you have not paid and don't get your payment by tomorrow evening, you will be dropped. So I think most everybody, there's only a couple people.
And you probably want to go on this because I've done over 500 remodels, and I stopped counting years ago at 500. And so I have done tons of these, and I have to say that something new happened to me. I lost money for the first time in 30 years on a rehab in the last month. I lost $8,000. And the reason is I just couldn't stand to leave the property alone. it just needed some extra TLC and some help, and and I guess we're in the spot that we can afford to do that. But I just was out in Twilla, I looked at it, I was like, I just can't leave this one like this. We need to move this wall, we need to move that wall, we've got to make a master suite out of it. So out of all those deals, I lost money on my first one, and I lost money on that one. But I've done hundreds and hundreds, and our average profit on those is about $50,000. So you want to come Saturday and see how we do it. We're hitting mostly the west side. We'll be starting out real close to here, making our way north and finishing up with lunch catered by Korean Matt up above the Capitol and on one of our big rehabs. So I'm going to throw that into the mix as well. 9 o'clock in the, right here, 9 o'clock in the parking lot.
We'll be
And
here
who
by
is
like
the bus?
8:45.
8:45, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll be leaving at 9.
Yes.
9 sharp, so yeah, thank you. And then secondly, okay, I've got people that talk to me a lot this week about seller financing and for sale by owner, so we're not going to go into that very much, but I just kept a couple of things. I got a little flyer here about the benefits for the seller, benefits for the buyer. You can come down and get one of these. Also, these scripts for doing FISBO calls. So you've seen us do it in the past. I think we've gotten a deal every time we've done it in the club meeting. There are deals out there on Craigslist, on KSL, calling up for sale by owner, signs, etc. Here is a script. I'm going to give this one to Luis just so I can make sure that he gets one there since he lives down the road from me. But you come up and grab those. Those will make your life much easier. You don't even have to think. You just have to go, my name is, and then make sure you write your name in the blank. Yeah, and then I'm calling, I almost left Rambo Wall in there. But anyway, you're going to run through this and you will do some deals. I mean, basically it's just about opening your mouth. It's like, what was it, open your mouth, O-Y-M? Just like Matt said, thanks for coming. Don't forget about the bus tour if you want to go, if you haven't paid. If you want to go, get on the waiting list for these. So we have some flyers out there. I don't know. Yeah, maybe put those up there. Perfect.
Some up here and some out there.
Perfect. There's this, the Welcome to Legends of Real Estate. I have no idea if it's any good or not. I'm not endorsing them. But I have been to a few of them, like Peter Fortunato, Gary Johnson, Jimmy Napier, stuff like that. Those are guys that I know. I was looking in there, and they're all older than I am. So I guess that's why they're called the Legends of Real Estate. That's kind of cool. So, anyway, thanks for coming out. Have a great month, and go out and do some business and network.
Oh, thank you. I know, it's gripping stuff.